I'm going to show you how to take your data from this spreadsheet and copy it into Fathom and plot an exponential function. One of the first things we have to understand is that when we paste it into something like either GeoGebra or Fathom, we don't want the formulas. So actually I'm going, and we have to do it this way. Sometimes you can just copy the whole columns, but in this case we actually have to copy the selection and Command C or whatever you guys call it. I want a new sheet, so I'm going to add a sheet. Earlier I deleted sheet 2, so I don't know, now I'm on sheet 3. Either way, yours probably says sheet 2. And then I can just click into this cell and I need to paste special, and I'm going to paste values only. So now notice there's no formula here, it's just the number, which is what I'm interested in. And remember we really only wanted two decimal places. If you go back to your original, when you click on one of these, you'll see the formula. Okay, so back to the sheet where we only have the values. That's perfect. I really wanted to compare in a function Tim's cumulative investment to Tom's. I'll explain later why that isn't. I couldn't really do that. But one thing also is I don't really want the contributions in there, so I can delete that column. And then I don't want Tom's contributions. I can delete that column. So now I have just age, Tim's total, and Tom's total. And I think for ease of use, I'm going to start basically when Tom started putting money away. So I'm just going to copy from 33, age 33, to age 65. So I'm going to copy that, Command C, and then I'm going to open up a Fathom file, and then drag down a collection, and then right click on the collection and paste cases. And then just to make sure you got what you wanted, you should check out your table. Now I'm going to give it some titles, age, and Tim, and Tom. So there's the data that I'm looking for. I can change, then double click and change the name of the collection. And basically I want to see a graph, so I'm going to pull a graph down. And I'm just going to do Tim for today. So there's Tim, there's his balance in his investments versus his age. And I want to plot a function, so you double finger click, I guess Mac users, I just call it right click because that's what it would be in a PC. And I want to plot function. And then we all know that an exponential function is a times b raised to the x, and it might shift minus h. And there is no vertical shift here. So we could have a plus k, right, left or right, up or down, and then a stretch. We'll plot that function. It says name not recognized, that's fine. We need values for A, B, H, and K. So we're going to drag down sliders, A, B, H, and K. And then we'll title them. That's got to be A, that's got to be B, that's got to be H, and that's got to be K. And remember, A is really the starting value, so how much did Tim have? About $37,000. And B is the growth factor, so it's 1 plus your rate, so it's 1.085. And then the issue here is that it's calling X 0. Well, we need to shift this thing to age 33. So we need to go 33 to the right. So we need to do minus 33. Beautiful. Notice we don't need a shift up or down. That can just be 0. So there's our function. We started with $37,000 approximately. the rate was 1.08, and we had to shift it to the right 33 years. And the nice thing about a slider is you can play with it to try to get it to fit pretty perfectly. Notice how much the rate has an effect on the graph, even versus time. Rate and time versus how much you start with. You can try it for Tom. Tom's kind of complicated because at this point now there's that extra $2,000 being added each time, and that complicates the formula, and I haven't really figured out how to deal with that yet. You could probably come up with a function that works, use sliders and slide them around. I found a good curve, but I couldn't get it to fit exactly. So while I'm gone at the radio show, I'd like you to follow through with this. Go to your sheet. Go to your Tim and Tom sheet, go to your original, copy. It's easy to copy the whole thing. Create a new sheet, go to that sheet and paste it as paste special as values, and then delete the columns you don't need, then copy the data you want, paste it into your, bring down a collection, paste it into your collection. In this case, since we didn't copy the column headings, you're going to have to name the attributes. Slide your graph down, etc. Watch the video over if you need some help. So hopefully I'll see you before class ends. If not, that's pretty much your chore for the day. And if you didn't answer all the questions from the Tim and Tom sheet, you should answer those. Perfect.